These are some of your submissions from 2 weeks ago. Now, you can see the play. This was Mayland, who's sick out right now, but you can see the replacements of dots and curves and things, and this is basically a gradient, which I did show you where to put the gradients from at this point, which is, if you guys are not sure, it's in Windows, Libraries, Metals, Gradients, okay? So that's where you go. Then, yes, playing and filling in, filling out. This is Nani's. I was very impressed, Nani. Yeah. So she played with filling it in, and she just scaled it up, like making the strokes bigger, and you can see it. Same thing here, like some of you filled it in. Now, I think with last week's lesson, we can now make symmetrical. So as much as this is pretty good, this little line, we can make now things symmetrical. And that's where we go here. With Crystal's sketch, this is very symmetrical. And I wanted to show you something here. So if I were to touch this, there's a way for me to show, like I'm sure this is not together, and that's fine. But then this one is closed in. That's one object. You saw that? Because within the video, I show you how to close an object. But if you just mirror and you're not so sure how to close, that's fine too. Right now, that's okay. But one way for me to really know that's mirrored, and that's why I was able to see with certain, some of you started to sketch the entire thing. One way is if I go to my reflect tool, which is right here, or it's underneath your rotate tool. Sometimes that's where it hides. Well, not sometimes, that's where it is. So reflect tool, you double click and you copy. You don't have to copy, and it's just like you don't have to copy and paste it. You just have to, it just does it for you. You see there's a perfect copy of each other. That's how you do it. So we're gonna get used to trying to do everything half and then mirror it and reflect it, okay? These buttons are great. Good job, Crystal. And then she changed the hem to what, you don't have to for now. You can be a straight hem, that's okay. And then there's dashes. How do I know it's dash? And what the size of the dash is, 2. A reminder is where the strokes are. And I can even change the space between the dash. You see the difference already? Really quickly. You see that? It went from really tight to not so tight. Then not only that, she also changed the roundness of her stroke. You see how it rounds? If I were to change it here, you notice how that becomes a square? There's a difference here. You see that? It's more complete. Okie doke. So that's one way. And I just wanted to show you different ones. There's another one from last week. One of the things with this one, and I know some of you might have used, yeah. Some of you, no? Yes, don't worry. I'll get there in a bit. So then, for this one, for example, the only thing I could see this was not reflected, and you can see it easily when I do this. It is now matching. Even without looking, you can see it. So and same thing. You can now change it to dash. I know some of you might be using your iPad. Your iPad is not gonna be the same layout as my laptop or a PC. So for now, if you can try to use the PC, that's fine. But if you use if you use your iPad because that's available to you, just be mindful that a lot of the tools will be hidden. They're not gonna be as many tools either. It's gonna be the minimum. Like it's gonna be the pen tool, the eraser tool, the direct select, unselect. It's just for quick renderings, okay? Same thing here. So let's just say, and I'm reviewing this, you notice how it has a little bit of a point here? There's one way to fix it. So you go to direct select with A, you press A, you click on it, and I find it. You see the little handle show up, and I just elongate it. You notice? That's the way to do it. Now, I can do this too, but I can do the same thing to the opposite side. Now, I can just erase by select direct, which is this one, selects the entire line. I click on this line that's correct, and I just reflect it and copy. Now, pressing shift, I can move it straight. in the same plane. Nothing's crooked, everything's lined up. Exactly. So that's one way you can fix it. I just want to show you how to fix things too. Now for this one, Maylin is not here because she wasn't feeling well, and she showed up to me in lab before. Why is this line looking really heavy? It's because once you put really thick lines inside the sketch, it makes it look really heavy. It's better to have the entire edge one stroke and the inside different stroke size, like thinner one. So how do you fix this? And this is what I show her. So you do not select the entire line. You're gonna direct select line. So you can just direct select what you're working with. So you Command X, that means cutting, correct? You just Command X, goodbye. And then you Shift Command V, and it places in the same part. How do I know this is different now? This is one line. It's not continuous anymore. You see that? And this is another line. You see the difference? Okay. Meaning I separated the lines. This is one line. You notice that? And this is the other line. That's what I did. You can copy and paste it. So what I do here now is make it smaller, so I don't have to redraw everything. So now this looks a lot better already. This looks like, okay, that's the opening of, is overlapping. Perfect. Now the part that I told her that I was having issues with is like, these tabs look like they are sewn into like a patch, not on top of it. So how do we do that? We take this square, the rectangle, and we're gonna fill it in with white. Let's fill it in. But then this disappears, correct? The button, and that's okay. Guess what? The button went behind. So once you're, and a lot of you might have struggled with this with Illustrator, when you start drawing, you'll notice that the objects will choose the order of things. So how do I do that? And it's still there. It didn't disappear. You see that? It's still there. It's just behind the rectangle because we filled it in. So what we do is we're going to change the order. You can either go Control, Arrange, Send to Back. You see that? But now I still have this line. What do? You select the entire thing, and you Control, Arrange, Bring to Front. There you go. Done. Now, I am showing this because this is going to be more of a thing once we start filling in items. We're not filling in right now, just little by little, guys. So am I going to do this many steps for the bottom one? No. I'm just going to erase it, select it, and erase it. I'm going to select the one on top, making sure everything's selected, and pressing Alt. Yes, done. Done. You have to start thinking about what's the least effort that I can do with Illustrator. That's it. The other part too is that I mentioned to her was, I can see the back, it's fully filled in, correct? I don't see the back here. I don't need you to show me specific details of the back, but I do need to at least have a little line to show me, okay, yeah, there's a back. Now, there you go, it looks more complete now. But if you really want to show that the inside of the skirt, what you can do is close the segment. You see how I closed it again? Once you see the little circle, right here with my pen, you see the little circle? That means I am closing it. If you don't see it, you're not closing the object. Hi. So then what you're gonna do is then fill it in. That's it. Because that's how you close it specifically. And this is done. That's one way to go about it. Another, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So then some people did back views. So then what happens is with these buttons, a reminder how do we get beautiful metal snaps. Window, go to Swatch Library, go to Gradients, go to Metals. Right there in your swatch size, on your right-hand side, you'll see all the colors are metals. Don't overthink it. Just choose one. It's okay. We're not we're gonna do default metals right now. If you wanna play with them and the colors, there are ways to do it with gradients, but not right now. We're okay. This is just for us to see. Right now, I just want this to be a beautiful brass finish. This is it. That's basically it for this one. I just wanted to show you, okay? What's the difference between why am I asking you to do very specific strokes? Because that way shows, okay, so this is Benzie. Good job, Benzie. Same thing. How we do this? Hers is a little different. You see, I only have one anchor. She created a 45-degree angle. I'm not saying it's wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But do you see the little circle there? If I drag, click on that circle, not the point, the circle outside, and drag, you notice how it makes it rounded? Yeah, I was trying to. Yeah. So let's just put it this way. I can make a square. If I go in enough, you see how I can see that little white circle, right, tiny. If I don't click in here, if you click on that circle, look, automatic curve. That's one way. That only happens when it's almost a right angle, okay? We're working smarter, not harder, okay? In this case with Benzie, that's what happens. And we can do it now. If we want to do it the same way on all, we just direct select this one, pressing shift, we select the other one, and you see I have both little rounded circles. I do it at the same time. There you go. Automatic. She is done. I can even do it with all of them. So let's do this again. Click. I'm direct selecting with A, this one, the opposite side, and even the back. And all of the little circles are showing up. I just choose one, and you see how my little pen has changed into a little curve? And all of them are ones. Done. You don't have to do one by one. You have to understand, like, this is not when I started with CS4 that you had to do one. No, everything's automated now, okay? So all of that, and then that's it. That's all you have to do. Okay, so that's good. Good buttons, by the way, guys. And then, oh, this is Maria Sophia's. So Maria Sophia was able to fill it in. And because she noticed that you can fill these things. The only thing is we can always change strokes. Going back to review, this is the stroke side. So once we go to, if you cannot see your stroke window, you go to window, you go find it, okay? And there you go. Now we can change it to 2. You see the difference now. It just looks like, okay, it's a skirt, and that's the edge. It's just this way when you look at it, you don't get confused what are seams, what is top stitch, what is the edge of the sketch. It just makes it look prettier. That's all. Now, yeah. That's okay. It's okay. We're gonna work little by little to fill it in. It's not gonna be today. You can play with it, but I don't want you to get confused or overwhelmed because there's I think you guys noticed, the pen tool does a lot of things. And we have only so far drawn with it. I just show you how to change the anchors, correct? There's so many ways to go about it, and I'm gonna show you right now. So if you go here, pen, find the pen. You see when it goes little minus? I can even take that out. I didn't do anything. It just goes again. If I draw, I'm like, I don't like that point anymore. I want to release it. I'm not going to lead it. No. You go to the pen, and when you hover, it gives you that option already. And you click it, and you click it away. Goodbye. But let's just say, like, okay, but I want another point now all the way in the bottom. What do? You press shift. Oh, it's not even shift anymore. So you see how it goes automatically? Plus. There you go. Done. So that's how it goes. You guys are gonna get used to now revising your drawings as you go. Remember, since you're doing symmetrical, you only need one perfect side, you reflect it and call it a day. Okay? Perfect. Now we're gonna stop this.